Mark chapter number 7. Jesus teaches about inner purity as opposed to keeping the Jewish law, and then sees the faith of a Gentile woman and heals her daughter, and then heals a man who is deaf. Mark chapter number 7. One day some Pharisees and teachers of the religious law arrived from Jerusalem to see Jesus. They noticed that some of his disciples failed to follow the Jewish rituals of hand washing before eating. The Jews, especially the Pharisees, do not eat until they've poured water over their cupped hands, as required by their ancient traditions. Similarly, they don't eat anything from the market until they immerse their hands in water. This is one of the many traditions they have clung to, such as their ceremonial washing of cups and pitchers and kettles. So the Pharisees and the teachers of the religious law asked him, "Why don't your disciples follow the law? They eat with unwashed hands without performing the ceremony." Jesus replied, "You hypocrites! Isaiah was right when he prophesied about you, for he wrote, 'These people honour me with their lips, but their hearts are far from me. Their worship is a farce, for they teach man-made ideas as the commands of God. For you ignore God's law and substitute your own traditions.'" Then he said, "You skillfully sidestep God's law in order to hold on to your tradition. For example, Moses gave you the law from God, honour your father and mother, and anyone who speaks disrespectfully about mother or father must be put to death. But you say it's all right for you to say to your parents, 'Sorry, I can't help you, because I vowed a vow to give to God what I would have given you.' In this way you let them disregard the needy parents and you hand down your own traditions." This is only one example among many others. Then Jesus called the crowds to come and hear. "All of you listen. It's not what goes into your body that defiles you. You're defiled by what comes out of your heart." Then Jesus went into the house to get away from the crowd, and his disciples asked him what he meant by the parable he had just used. "Don't you understand either?" he said. "Can't you see that the food you put into your body can't defile you? Food doesn't go into your heart, it only passes through your stomach and then goes out through the sewer." By saying this, he declared that every kind of food is acceptable in God's eyes. And then he added, "It's what comes from inside that defiles you. For from within, out of a person's heart, comes evil thoughts, sexual immorality, theft, murder, desires, envy, slander, pride, foolishness. All these vile things come within. These are what defile you." Then Jesus left Galilee and went north to the region of Tyre. He didn't want anyone to know which house he was staying in, but he couldn't keep it a secret. Right away, a woman who had heard him came and fell at his feet. Her little girl was possessed by an evil spirit. She begged him to cast out the demon from her daughter. Since she was a Gentile, born in Syria Phoenicia, Jesus told her, "First I should feed the children, my own family, the Jews. Is it right to take the food from the children and throw it to dogs?" She replied, "That's true, Lord. But even the dogs under the table are allowed to eat the scraps from the children's plates." "Good answer," he said. "Now go home, for the demon has left your daughter." And when she arrived home, she found the little girl lying quietly, and the demon was gone. Jesus left Tyre and went to Sidon before going back to the Sea of Galilee and the region of the 10 towns. A deaf man with a speech impediment was brought to him, and the people begged Jesus to lay his hands on him and to heal him. Jesus led him away from the crowd so that they could be alone. He put his fingers on the man's ears. Then, spitting in his own fingers, he touched the man's tongue. Looking up to heaven, he sighed and said, "Ephphatha," which means "be opened." Instantly, the man could hear perfectly, and his tongue was freed so he could speak plainly. Jesus told the crowd not to tell anyone, but the more he told them, the more they came to spread the news. They were completely amazed and said again and again, "Everything he does is wonderful." He even makes the deaf to hear and gives speech to those who cannot speak.